Good morning, everyone. I was having problems with my internet, which caused me to go live a few minutes late, but that's okay. It's all right. And welcome to this morning's edition of Contractor's Chatter. I'm your host, Luciana Turner, and we're live. Whew, it took some doing, but we're here this morning. You know how we do. As you enter the room, say hello, post a comment, share this out to your network because over here, we don't believe in growing alone. I know there's people on the great internet who will tell you move in silence, keep it to yourself. Over here, we know we don't go as far as our dream, we go as far as our team. And if you're the only one in your network growing, if you're the only one in your network with access to information, then you don't have support. Then you have a limited network and your network isn't growing with you and cannot support you in your growth. No, girl, I was having internet connections issues and I was sitting here like, if the good internet conspiring against me this morning. So I was like, let me just go all the way out the program and come all the way back in. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Yes. And it's still hitting you. But you know what? I have a bad habit. I'm an IT person's nightmare. I must have like 15 tabs open. Thank you, man. I must have 15 tabs open because I was up working until midnight and what I did was just close the tab. I don't remember the last time I rebooted my computer. And I know the IT people who are watching this and watching the replays are rolling their eyes at me. Oh my goodness. And she wonder why her internet went connect. And she wonder why it's having problems. Yeah, I used to hear that all the time in corporate. They used to get sick of me. I used to have to call the IT people from somebody else's computer phone. I just finally said, "Look, I already know. Just come fix it." Oh my goodness! But this morning's edition, we're talking about don't be siding with IT. Don't be siding against your girl. I know what I'm supposed to do, but when you up late and you drafting emails and, and doing other, you're tired. Feeding children and doing dishes and taking care of a house and running a business and laying out strategies and responding to you tired. And I said I was going to bed at 10 and I didn't go to bed until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Shoot. And was up at 6. What? I wasn't hardly thinking about no shutting down the internet. But enough of my quirks and disobedience in the realm of IT. But that's a good lesson. Disobedience eventually, not following the process, eventually leads to chaos. It's a lesson. And eventually, my laptop is going to rebel. So what I'm going to do is immediately after the broadcast is save everything, shut down, do a complete shutdown and reboot. So, but today's topic, I was having a conversation with my accountability group. And was it my accountability group or was it my leadership assistant? It was my assistant. And we were talking about the event we were having that I'm having in October. I'm planning the event. And I was talking about having her reach out to a potential client that I talked to. And one of the things, this potential client contracts. But when I talked to him, he didn't have a lot of his basics ironed out in his business. He was literally an overnight success. And I am so proud of the success that he's seeing, the exponential growth. He is an example of a quantum leap. He had a product, he has a service, everybody responded to, and no matter what happened, he bounced back and he leapt every time he bounced back. But there are some core key items he needs to have in place. And when I brought this up to him, he was supposed to go back to his partner, put them in place, and get back in touch with me. Now, I haven't talked to him again since we had this conversation, which she's supposed to reach back out to him. But what I feel happened is he felt, because I felt the unease in the conversation, there was some resistance to putting these things in place. And one of the things is a partnership agreement that outlines what happens in the event of who makes final decisions. What happens if he gets sick and with the continuation of the business? What happens if the partner gets sick? What happens if one of them dies? And far too often, what people hear is you don't trust the person you're in business in. And partnership agreements aren't about trust. It's about the continuity of your business, first of all. Secondly, it's showing investors and potential investors that your business is sustainable, it's going to grow, and it's here to stay. Longevity. Partnership agreements, operation agreements demonstrate that your business exists beyond you. People don't understand this, but businesses, corporate entities are persons in a legal sense. So I am a person. LT&A Consulting Group is a person. LT&A Government Solutions is a person. L. Turner Associates is a person. All unique individuals who have operating agreements that demonstrate that they can function individually. So if something happens to the LT&A Consulting Group, LT&A Government Solution continues to thrive and exist. L. Turner Associates continues to thrive and exist. Luciana Turner continues to thrive and exist. What happens too often is people go into business and they, with a friend, a colleague, whatever, and things are going good. Tragedy happens and the business comes to a standstill because nobody can make a decision. A spouse wants to step in because they erroneously believe, well, I am my partner's partner in everything. That doesn't mean you get to step into the business. Or is your name on any of the business documents? Well, legally, you can't make a business decision. Legally, they don't have to give you access to the books. Legally, you're not entitled to the profits. We're not arguing morality. We're arguing legality. You understand where I'm coming from? Legally, There are things in place that determine who have rights to that corporate business entity. And if your name isn't anywhere, then legally there's nothing you can do. Your marital rights does not extend to that business. Something happens and you get sick. Who makes decisions to keep that business running while you're recovering? Who says you're entitled to the profits during that time? Nothing is in writing. So your partner can decide, I'm doing 100% of the work. I should get 100% of the profits during that time. Nothing is in writing. We're now in a gray area. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm telling you what I've seen, the arguments that I've seen happen. And it's coming from a place of, I think, or I thought, or I believe, and well, it looks right, because nothing is in writing. So just because we're best friends and we're going to put down in writing how this goes, doesn't mean I don't trust you. It means that we want a clear delineation of how things flow in the event of. As a legal friend of mine who's speaking at the Contractor Intensive, Tony Moore says, protect your assets. In the event of, who inherits and how do they inherit? Because during times of grief, let me tell you, everybody has something to say. And during your time of grief, people will come in peopling. And they may mean well. And by the time they get finished peopling, drive a division and wedge that may not have needed to be there. Come on. When I first started my business and I sat down to do my will, people laughed at me when I put in provisions about the inheritance of my business, because my business wasn't making any money because I had just started it. But I have children. And they were like, well, girl, your business doesn't even make any money. But I knew to protect my assets and to protect my children. So you're laughing now, but I had a vision, and my vision said my business was going somewhere. And just because you couldn't see what I saw didn't mean I needed glasses. It just means you couldn't see what the vision that was given to me. How many of you have that? So as you are doing business out here, whether you're doing it by yourself, you're bringing in partners, eventually you're going to want to scale and grow. And I'm telling you, and for those of you who are believers in certifications, they all ask for operating agreements, because they want to see that you take your business seriously. And for those of us, and I'm talking to my people of color, who always talk about our businesses aren't valued as highly as those who are not in amongst our community. One of the reasons why our valuations are not as high as theirs is because we do not have the proper things in place, i.e. an operating agreement, and a fully fleshed out operating agreement. I'm not talking about something you downloaded off the internet. I'm talking about something that says this person makes this decision, this person makes that decision. I'm talking about full-fledged business insurance that doesn't go into effect January 1st and out of effect January 31st. A business account. Stop running your business through Cash App because you don't want to pay taxes. File your taxes. Hello. Come on. Stop trying to avoid taxes. That's called being an adult. And pay somebody. Stop going to H&R Block and get now, unless you have somebody, your teenage cousin is a tax specialist. Hire somebody. I had somebody tell me, who called herself a business owner, that my 300 and I think I charged $335 this tax season was too much money. But you're a tax professional, and she was 3 years behind. Come on. And you didn't have your receipts together. Come on, people. But you're a business owner. I need people to stop peopling. Operate on the level you want to be taken seriously at. Stop operating on a high school level, calling yourself a business owner. Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. If you don't take your business seriously, nobody else will. And have your records in order. Keep them receipts in order, so that when your professional comes in, all they have to do is a simple tally. And most receipts, most consultancies are tax deduction that you can take off at the end of the year. We need to up level and shift our mindsets around all of this. So if we want our business valuation to be at the level that we say it is. I run $1 million business, but they only said it was worth $1.95. Well, stop acting like it's $1.95. Stop running it like it's $1.95 and act like it, and decide and walk and talk and be and exist like $1 million business, and you'll get $1 million valuation. Present it like it's $1 million. But you can't put $1 million business on a garbage can lid and then get surprised that it's valued at $1.95. And that is what's happening. There's too many people walking around here with $1.95 mindset and presentations wanting $1 million valuation. And want to blame everything else but the presentation. Do you have your agreements in place? Do you have your back end in order? Do you have what it takes? And if you don't have a stable foundation, if you don't have a sustainable foundation, you're skipping steps in the process. And it's slowing down your growth. It's slowing down what you could achieve. And I dare say it's the reason why you can't get your funding. It's the reason why you can't achieve the goals that you're achieving. You have holes in your process. The picture can't see its own frame. And with that, I want you to think about that seriously. How are you representing your business? And it's more than an iPhone and some makeup. I have somebody I love dearly, but she was telling me about an iPhone, and I'm thinking you should have gotten a business bank account. Because when COVID hit and you couldn't get that PPP loan, that iPhone wouldn't have saved you. That business bank account would have, because that's why you couldn't get the PPP loan. Having somebody fudge your taxes to maximize your refund is why you couldn't get that PPP loan. But you worried about iPhone. Not maintaining separate bank accounts and keeping your receipts straight and running a Schedule C, a true Schedule C, is why you couldn't get that PPP loan to maintain your business. I may have had business struggles. I may have had ebbs and flow. During COVID, I had a major health crisis, so I didn't make any money. And I've had struggles. But my struggles wasn't because I was worried about an iPhone. Where's your focus? You get what you focus on. Is your back end straight? Is your foundation sure? For those of us who knows where this come from, will your anchor hold? Most of us anchors will not hold. Come on now. That's why we're tossing and drifting and blaming everything else. It's not the wind and the rain that comes. It's the foundation that we built our business on. We're trying to live in a 10-room mansion, and it's built on a 600 square foot foundation. And we have two choices. We can expand the foundation, which is going to require some deconstruction. Actually, we have three. Expand the foundation, which is going to require deconstruction. Keep tossing and driven, being tossed and driven and going nowhere. Or we can quit. Me, I'm not quitting. Being tossed and driven is expensive. So I advise we do a little bit of deconstructing so we can reconstruct in the right way. If you need some help, you can get on my calendar. We can book a session to talk about how I can help. My sessions are not free. I'm going to let you know that up front. But a lot of people need to have that proper foundation. And with that, for those who are joining late, you can catch the replay that's going to be posted after I go log out. I invite you back tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for another installment of Contractors Chatter. I'm your host, Luciana Turner. Have an amazing day, and remember to do right by yourself. Check your foundation.